The screen fills with drifting autumn leaves. And before anyone can guess what's happening, a single name flashes like a spark in the dark: John Reardon. The actor who rarely reveals anything early has just dropped something that nobody expected. The first ever look at his new project, Autumn. And the moment fans saw it, one thing became clear. This is not just another project. This looks special. It looks different. It looks fantastic. For years, John Reardon has been known as the kind of actor who chooses his projects carefully. He doesn't jump into anything just because it's trending or loud. Instead, he waits. He studies. He commits only when a story speaks to him. That alone makes every new announcement from him feel important. Fans follow him not just for his talent, but for the trust he has built. If John is doing something, there must be a reason behind it. And that quiet, steady reputation is exactly why the first look of Autumn sent such a strong wave of excitement across social platforms. The moment it dropped, people were not just surprised. They were curious. What kind of story pulls John in at this point in his journey? Why this title? Why Autumn? There is something about that word alone that instantly creates emotion. Autumn is a season of change, of endings that feel soft and beginnings that feel uncertain. It is full of beauty but also a quiet sadness. It's a moment in nature where everything slows down before it transforms again. And because of that, the simple reveal of the title already feels layered, almost symbolic, as if the project itself might carry themes of reflection, memory, or emotional turning points. Fans who have followed John for years know that he shines the most in stories with depth. Characters who carry something heavy. Stories that breathe slowly, where emotion sits between the lines more than in the dialogue itself. So when Autumn appeared with its warm tones, soft shadows, and calm yet powerful energy, people instantly felt like this is the kind of world John was meant to step into. The vibe is gentle but strong, quiet but emotional, the kind of place where moments matter more than noise, and details speak louder than action. What makes this first look even more exciting is how simple it is. It doesn't try to explain too much. It doesn't give away the plot. It doesn't reveal all the characters. Instead, it lets the visuals do the talking. Just the color palette alone, deep oranges, slow falling leaves, fading sunlight, tells us that this project is being built with intention. That nothing here is accidental. And because John Reardon shared it himself, fans felt that familiar spark of connection. When an actor reveals something personally, it feels like they are inviting the audience into the process, like saying, "Here, this matters to me." Take a look. The reaction online was almost immediate. Comments from excited fans, early theories, emotional guesses about the tone, all of it flooded in within hours. Some said the first look feels nostalgic, as if it captures a moment you didn't realize you were missing. Others said it feels peaceful, almost healing. A few even said that just from this small glimpse, it already feels like a story that will stay with you long after it ends. And that is rare. Very rare. What stands out most is the feeling that Autumn is not just a project. It is a mood, an atmosphere, maybe even a message. And if this early preview already feels this powerful, then the full reveal might be something unforgettable. That's why fans are now watching closely, waiting, wondering, hoping that this is the project that will show a new side of John Reardon, deeper, richer, and more emotional than ever before. The internet didn't explode all at once. It started with a quiet spark, a single post from John Reardon. No dramatic caption. No long explanation. Just one simple image from Autumn. But sometimes, the smallest drop creates the biggest wave. Within minutes, fans realized what they were looking at, and that moment changed everything. People paused, stared, and felt something they couldn't explain. It wasn't just a picture. It was a mood, a signal, a promise that something meaningful was coming. The first look didn't shout for attention. It whispered. And that whisper carried more power than any loud announcement could. The image showed a soft glow of evening light touching a quiet landscape, the colors shifting between warm gold and deep rust. A breeze seemed to move across the scene even though it was a still photograph, as if the world inside the picture was alive and breathing. That little detail, that feeling of movement, made people lean in. It made them want to know what kind of story could be hiding underneath such calm beauty. What surprised everyone most was how personal the reveal felt. John Reardon is known for being private, someone who doesn't post unless he has something real to share. So when he chose to reveal the project himself, fans felt like they were witnessing a moment he cared about. They weren't just seeing an image. They were seeing the beginning of something that mattered to him. And because of that, the entire reveal felt intimate, almost like a quiet conversation between artist and audience. As the first look spread, people began picking it apart with excitement and curiosity. Some focused on the lighting, saying it felt like the calm before an emotional storm. Others noticed the lonely path in the background, wondering if it symbolized a journey or a moment of change. Many pointed out the subtle shadows, saying they hinted at memories or secrets. Nobody knew the story yet, but everyone could feel one waiting beneath the surface. That is the magic of a strong first look. It doesn't explain, it invites. What made the reaction even more fascinating was how connected people felt to the mood of the image. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It wasn't packed with action. It was quiet, gentle, thoughtful. And somehow, that simplicity carried a power that immediately stood out. Fans began sharing how the picture made them feel nostalgic, peaceful, emotional, curious. Some said it reminded them of moments they had lived. Others said it reminded them of moments they wish they could go back to. It didn't matter what the actual story of Autumn was. For a moment, the world created inside the picture belonged to everyone who saw it. As more people discovered the reveal, the excitement grew, but it grew softly. Not like a trend that flashes bright and fades fast, but like a fire slowly building strength. Comments poured in, each filled with theories and hopes. People wondered what kind of character John might play: someone broken, someone healing, someone searching. They imagined scenes of quiet conversations, emotional turning points, unexpected relationships, or a journey through memories. The mystery of the project didn't frustrate anyone. It made them feel more connected. The beauty of this moment was that the reveal didn't just introduce Autumn. It introduced a feeling, a tone, a world. And that world already feels rich, emotional, and full of quiet storytelling potential. It's rare for a project to create such a strong connection before a single line of dialogue is heard. But Autumn did exactly that. The first look didn't give answers. It opened a door. And once people stepped inside, they didn't want to leave. What makes the first look of Autumn truly unforgettable is not what it shows, but what it suggests. It feels like a quiet riddle, a message wrapped in colors and silence. The moment people stared long enough, they sensed layers beneath the surface, tiny clues that hinted at a much deeper, more emotional story waiting to unfold. And that's where the magic of this project begins. Instead of telling viewers what to feel, the image lets them feel it on their own, as if the story has already started speaking without saying a single word. The setting in the image feels carefully chosen. The fading light seems to hang in the air, as though it's holding onto something it doesn't want to lose. The colors, warm but slipping toward darkness, feel like a moment caught between holding on and letting go. There's a softness in the way the shadows fall, almost as if the world inside the picture is remembering something. It's rare to see a first look that feels this emotional without showing a character's face or a single action. That's why people have been staring at it longer than they expected, trying to understand what makes it feel so alive. Some viewers think this calm landscape is tied directly to the heart of the story. Maybe it represents a place the character returns to after years of staying away. Maybe it's a memory, or an ending, or the start of something unexpected. The silence in the picture feels heavy, like it's carrying something unsaid. And the beauty of this silence is that it feels intentional, almost like the story of Autumn is built around moments that happen softly but change everything. These quiet, emotional spaces are often where John Reardon delivers his strongest work, which is why fans are already imagining a character struggling with inner conflict, longing, or rediscovery. Another detail people noticed is the sense of movement and stillness happening at the same time. The leaves appear frozen mid-fall, yet they also feel like they're drifting downward. The path looks empty, yet it feels like someone has just walked away or is about to arrive. This creates a tension, not loud or dramatic, but a gentle pull that makes the viewer curious. Who belongs in this world? What moment are we witnessing? Is it before something important begins or right after something ended? The image doesn't answer these questions, but it guides the viewer toward a slow emotional truth. Something meaningful is waiting just beyond the frame. Then comes the title, Autumn. It's simple, but powerful. A single word that carries emotion, memory, and change. It's a season known for soft endings and quiet beginnings. It's the part of the year where nature transforms, not with sudden force, but with gentle honesty. Many fans believe this is exactly the tone the project will follow. A story where characters face change not because they want to, but because life leads them there. A story where the prettiest moments feel touched by sadness, and the saddest moments still hold beauty. That blend of emotion is something John Reardon has always portrayed with depth. And the title hints that he might be stepping into a role that demands both strength and vulnerability. People online have also shared deeper interpretations. Some think the image symbolizes a personal journey, maybe the character reconnecting with someone from their past or dealing with a loss that reshaped their life. Others think this story might explore themes of time, relationships, healing, or making peace with a choice that couldn't be changed. None of these theories are confirmed, yet the fact that so many meaningful ideas come from one simple image shows how well-crafted the reveal is. It makes people feel instead of simply informing them. What stands out most is how the first look doesn't feel like a promotional teaser. It feels like a scene from a diary, private, reflective, almost fragile. And that emotional honesty is what has everyone so invested. If this is the tone of the project, then Autumn may not just be a story you watch. It may be a story you feel as the hours passed after the first look was revealed. Something interesting began to happen. The reaction stopped being just excitement and slowly turned into a shared emotional experience. It wasn't only about waiting for a new project anymore. It became about the feeling that Autumn captured, a feeling people didn't realize they were craving. The image started traveling beyond fan circles and into wider conversations because it touched on something universal, the quiet moments in life that sit between endings and beginnings. And surprisingly, those moments resonated with people more deeply than anyone expected. Fans began describing how the first look made them feel in ways they couldn't fully put into words. Some said it reminded them of a memory they thought they had forgotten. Others said it brought back a calmness they hadn't felt in months. A few even shared that the colors and tone brought them a sense of comfort, like they were stepping into a warm story that understood them. It's rare for a single image to make people reflect on their own lives, but that's exactly what Autumn did. It opened emotional doors without forcing anyone to walk through them. People walked through on their own. What amplified the anticipation even more was how personal the conversations became. Instead of simple comments like "this looks great" or "can't wait," the reactions turned into little stories. People shared memories of fall evenings, moments of change, relationships that shifted during autumn seasons of their own lives. The reveal became a place where hundreds of experiences blended together, all connected by the same soft, golden atmosphere that the image carried. Suddenly, Autumn wasn't just John Reardon's project. It became a shared emotional space for everyone who saw it. And in the middle of all this, people started imagining what kind of character John might step into. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but in a thoughtful, emotional one. Many believe he will play someone quietly complex, a person shaped by life, softened by time, or haunted by a choice. They imagine him walking through the scenery shown in the first look, carrying something he doesn't fully speak about but feels deeply. Fans expect the role to be layered, the type of character who reveals his heart not through big speeches but through gentle moments and small changes in expression. That kind of storytelling is something John has always excelled at, which is why the anticipation around his performance is already so strong. the industry side of the conversation added even more buzz. Critics who saw the reveal commented on the visual tone, calling it unexpectedly intimate and emotionally charged even without context. Some spoke about how rare it is for a first look to avoid flashy elements and instead rely on atmosphere. They admired the confidence behind such a choice, believing it hints at a project that values emotion over spectacle. In a world where everything tries to shout louder than the rest, Autumn stood out by whispering, and that whisper was heard everywhere. As the week went on, the excitement didn't fade. Instead, it settled into something steady and warm, like the project had already carved out a small space in people's minds. Fans began creating their own edits, artwork, and color palettes inspired by the reveal. Quotes about change, growth, and memory started circulating alongside the image. It's not common for a project to inspire creativity before a trailer even arrives, but Autumn managed it effortlessly. This early emotional connection hints at the kind of lasting impact the story might have once it's fully released. What makes this moment feel so powerful is the sense that everyone is waiting together, not impatiently, but thoughtfully. The anticipation for Autumn isn't wild or chaotic. It's calm, steady, and deeply felt. People aren't expecting loud twists or explosive moments. They're expecting something human, something gentle, something meaningful. And that kind of collective hope can only come from a project that speaks to the heart even before revealing its full story.